Shabbat Shalom, everybody in the house and all of you out there in Shabbat Cyberland. This is a special Shabbat for many reasons. It's the first Shabbat of the month, and we have the Shul Band present. We'll be recognizing birthdays for the month of April, and it's the Brotherhood Shabbat. So it's still time for all of you watching at home to put your shoes on and head on down to TBI. I'm Don Pollock. I'm the president of the Brotherhood, and I'm supposed to give some safety announcements, which I will, but there's one thing I wanted to share, something interesting that happened this week. So one of the wonderful things that Temple Beth Israel does is every so once in a while, they deliver challahs. And not just any challah, but a challah from Porto's Cuban Bakery. Fantastic. So the challahs were ready on Wednesday. So we went out to deliver them, and being that we live in the paranoid world that we're in, when you go up to people's houses, they yell at you through the door, or they crack it open a little bit, or they look through the window, or now everybody has a Ring doorbell. But Once they see you're at their doorstep with a challah from Porto's, they're so excited. So it's such a wonderful experience. But here's a dilemma, and it's a dilemma worthy of rabbinical discussion. We're delivering the challahs on Wednesday. So which is the greater sin? To eat the challah on Wednesday while it's still fresh, or to wait till Friday and have it be a bit stale? What does the Talmud say about that?
Use the oven.
So, for safety and courtesy, please silence your cell phones. And with limited seating in the sanctuary, please make room for others in the rows as needed. I'm not sure that's going to be an issue tonight. I'd like to direct your attention to the emergency exits and other safety features. There's a chart here which I can't quite follow, but hey, those red signs are the exits. So follow your way to the red sign in the event of a catastrophic event. There are also exits at the back of the social hall in green. At the side of the sanctuary are exits to the main doors through which you entered, and exit doors on either side of the lobby. There's a fire extinguisher and an AED near the water fountain in the hall, so in case anybody has a cardiac event or the Shabbat candles get out of control, we can handle it. There's another fire extinguisher inside the doors to the sanctuary where you entered. So please look around you now and find the exit nearest to you. This is the placard, the safety card, and there's one in the seat backs in front of you, or one placed on your chair. In the unlikely event that we must evacuate, we'll meet at the southwest corner of the parking lot, away from the buildings. Thank you for your attention, and Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. We're going to start and welcome to our shul band. We have a fuller band this month, so that's wonderful. And it's thank you all for being here and serving us and bringing music and spirit to us this evening. We're going to start with a nigun. It's familiar to any of you who have been at our shul band service before, a song without words to warm up our souls.
Yada die 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 die. 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 Yada die. Same thing. Join us. Yada die 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 die. Yada die 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 die. Yada die 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 die. Yada die 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 die. Yada die 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 die. Yada die die. Yada die 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 die. Yada die 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 die. Yada die die. Yada die 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 die. Yada die 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 die. Yada die die die
turn to pages 2 and 3 in our Siddur. And I invite you, if you're able, to rise as we bless our Shabbat lights.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu v'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
You may be seated. Turn to pages 20 and 21. As is our custom, before we enter into the words of Lecha Dodi, which symbolize the Shabbat presence, the Shabbat queen, Shabbat bride entering the congregation and us escorting that presence in with joy, we take a moment to reflect on the week that has passed. The Psalms that precede this, there's one for each day of the week. We're not doing all of those Psalms, but that's what's in the Siddur, as a way, in a sense, to make that Hazarat HaShavua, that review of the week. And so we take a moment, we take a breath, spend a moment on each day, its blessings and its challenges, and then we'll come back for Lecha Dodi. We'll sing together verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. And when we get to verse 9, we'll rise and face the doors from which we entered, or if you're at home, face the door to your home to welcome the Shabbat presence and what tradition tells us is a neshama yetera, an extra soulfulness, an extra soul that travels with us during the Shabbat. Lecha Dodi, pages 20 and 21.
It's a bit of call and response. Lecha Dodi. Your turn. Lecha Dodi. Likrat Kala. Likrat Kala. Enei Shabbat. Lecha Dodi. Likrat Kala. Penei Shabbat. Ikabela. Lecha Dodi. Likrat Kala. Penei Shabbat. Ikabela. Lecha Dodi. Likrat Kala. Penei Shabbat. Ikabela. Sham v'zachor v'dibor echad Ishme'anu el hamiuchad Adonai echad U'shmo echad L'shem u'tiferet v'litchila L'chadodi Likrat kala B'nei Shabbat Dekabela L'chadodi Likrat kala B'nei Shabbat Nekabela Likrat Shabbat B'kuven el-chad Tihimekor Abracha Merosh Mikadem Nitzucha Tzva'ase B'matshevat Chila L'chadodi Likrat kala B'nei Shabbat Nekabela L'chadodi Likrat kala B'nei Shabbat Nekabela Hit'oreri Kivarech Kumi ori Shidaberi Yevoradonai Alech Bigla L'chadodi Likrat kala B'nei Shabbat Nekabela L'chadodi Likrat kala B'nei Shabbat Nekabela. Oh, Yves Shalom, Ateret Bala, Gam Simcha, Ursohola, Tochamunei, Am Sagula, Boi Chala, Boi L'chadodi Likrat kala B'nei Shabbat Nekabela L'chadodi Likrat kala B'nei Shabbat Nekabela.
We continue on page 26. I invite Al Shapiro to lead us in Chatzi Kaddish.
Yikadal v'yiskadash Shemei Rabbah B'yama divrach rutei v'yamlich malchutei B'chai yechon v'yomechon U'chayedek al Beit Yisrael Ba'agala Uvizman karib V'imru Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah Mivorach Leolam Olamei Amayah Yisbarach Yisbarach V'yishtabach V'yisbarach V'yisramam V'yisnaseh V'yisada V'yisalel V'yisalol Shanei Dekudasha Barichu Le'ela Min Kol Birchata V'shirata Tushbechata V'nechemata Tahamirom B'helma Ve'imeru. Amen.
Continue on page 28 for Baruch Hu, our call to prayer.
La da die, 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 ya 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 da die, die, die. Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Do you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Arechu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Le'olam va'ed. Yadadai, dai, dai, 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 yadadai, dai, dai. Last three lines on page 30. El Chai v'Kayam, Tamid Melchaleinu le'olam va'ed, Baruch Atah Adonai, Hamariv, Aravi.
You may be seated. I'd like to invite Angelo to come on up and share a reading.
Avat Olam. We are loved by an unending love. We are embraced by arms that find us even when we are hidden from ourselves. We are touched by fingers that soothe us, even when we are too proud for soothing. We are counseled by voices that guide us, even when we are too embittered to hear. We are loved by an unending love. We are supported by hands that uplift us, even in the midst of a fall. We are urged by eyes that meet us, even when we are too weak for meeting. We are loved by an unending love. Embraced, touched, soothed, and counseled. Ours are the arms, the fingers, the voices. Ours are the hands, the eyes, the smiles. We are loved by an unending love.
We continue with Shema Yisrael, page 34 and 35. If it's your custom to do so, you can rise.
Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Baruch שם כבוד מלכותו לעולם ועד. שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד. שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד.
Page 36, and I invite Isaac Kaufman to lead us in the words of Ve'ahavta.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך על היום לבביך, ושיננת לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלבתך בדרך ובשבך ובקומך, וקשתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
I'd like to invite Chuck Fisher to come up and share a reading.
The path to the love of God is through the love of others. I do not love God until I love my neighbor as myself. Jewish faith unites mind and heart, even as my mind seeks to understand life's meaning. So may my life show love for all created things. We do not teach our children by words alone. May I make my life and actions into good teachings, for in my conduct I must exemplify Torah. Let my home glow with the beauty of our heritage. Let my doors be open wide to wisdom and to righteousness.
Turn to page 40 for our song of freedom, Mi Chamocha.
כמוך האלים אדוני, מי כמוך בדרבה הקודש, נורא בהילות עושה פלא. מלכותך ובניך חוקי הים, מפני משה ומרים. Adonai Yimloch le'olam va'ed. Yalla la 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 la, la 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 la, yalla la 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 la, yalla la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la la la, la la la, yalla la yalla la la la, yalla la 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 la, yalla la la la, la 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 la. Adonai Yimloch le'olam va'ed. V'ne'emar kiv'ad Adonai et Yaakov ugalo miyad chazak mimenu. Baruch atah Adonai Gal Yisrael.
We give thanks for Shabbat, for the opportunity to come together in community, to be with each other, to connect to ourselves, to the Holy One. And we turn to page 44 for Vishamru.
Beini uvein b'nei Israel, oti le'olam, oti le'olam, oti le'olam. V'shamru b'nei Israel,
Sheished yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim v'et haaretz.
V'shamru b'nei Israel, Umashri Shabbat vaynafash Shabbat vaynafash Shabbat
Each generation has its path, each a vision of its own, yet each is linked to all. Their origin and goal are one. Our mothers and fathers kindled light to lead us in the way to the day of shining hope, with mercy our companion along the way. Recalling for generations, we weave our lives into the tradition. Praise be the source of strength and courage, the source of kindness and good deeds. Praise be the source of gentleness and love, of softness and kind words. Praise be the man who transcends strength through gentleness. Praise be the woman who perfects gentleness through strength. Praise be the person who acts according to the best that is within. Praise be the person who reaches out to touch the best in others. Praise be the gentle faithfulness of Abraham and the valiant strength of Sarah. Honor to the generations of Israel, our people. All honor to those who illuminate our paths.
Turn to page 46. As we move into our Amidah or Tefillah, I invite those who are able to do so to please rise.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagid tilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avoteinu v'imotenu Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el HaGadol HaGibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei HaKol, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם למען שמו ואהבה מלך עוזר מושיע ומגן ברוך אתה אדוני מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, בחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע. משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מכלכל חיים וחסד, בחיי הכל ברחמים רבים. סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומי דומה לך מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה Adonai Mechaye HaKol.
Page 52. You are holy, your name is holy, and those who are holy praise you every day. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. Please take a few moments for silent prayer for the text of your own heart or the words of the Siddur through page 62, 63. When you're through, you may be seated. I'd like to invite Ira Quattro up to share a reading.
The faces and the tactics of the leaders may change every 4 years, or 2, or 1, but the people go on forever. The people beaten down today, yet rising tomorrow, losing the road 1 minute, finding it the next. Their eyes always fixed on a star of true brotherhood, equality, and dignity. The people are the real guardians of our hopes and our dreams. Happy is the one who has not followed the counsel of the wicked, or taken the path of sinners, or joined the company of the insolent. Rather, the teachings of the Lord in his delight, and he studies that teaching day and night. He is like a tree planted beside streams of water, which yield its fruit in season, whose foliage never fades. And whatever it produces thrives. Not so the wicked. Rather, they are like chaff in the wind, blown away. Therefore, the wicked will not survive judgment, nor will the sinners in the assembly of the righteous. For the Lord cherishes the way of the righteous, but the way of the wicked is doomed.
I am humbled to follow those deep and powerful words with a nigun that was created by our friend Reb Menachem Mirsky. As was mentioned earlier, it's the first time in over 2 years that we've had the chance to contribute our full ruach, our full spirit to the services. It feels incredibly gratifying, but I don't think there is anyone in this room who is not acutely aware of the challenges that we've all come through as human beings in the last 3 years, but also the incredible challenges that are being faced by those who come from Menachem's home in Eastern Europe, where he was born in Przemysl, which is just over the border from Ukraine. So as Menachem and the band offer what we lovingly call Menachem's Nigun, may we hold in our hearts all those who are suffering in Ukraine and the refugees that have been displaced by that terrible war, and but at the same time do so with hope that truly the righteous shall triumph in this and every other situation. May this be the will of the Holy One.
Dun dun day da day dun day da dun 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 day dun 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 da day dun 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 day da day dun 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 day da day 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 dun 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 day ya dun 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 day dun 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 da day dun day da dun dun day ya dun dun
So I've been struck this last week about what it is to sort of re-enter community. I spent Sunday through Wednesday this week in San Diego with 350 Reform rabbis coming together for the first time in 3 years, and you know, been over the last few weeks at TBI, kind of moving slowly into whatever our new normal may look like, but as we kind of move from more seclusion to re-entering community and all the unease that comes with that as well, right? We've become used to certain things along the way. And I was just struck by this week's and next week's Torah portions. This week is Tazria, next week is Mitzorah. And if you look at them at some level, they're all about this skin disease that also sometimes seems to appear sometimes in houses and in other places as a fungus, this kind of strange thing. But part of what happens is the priest is in charge of tending to the people who are outside the camp and eventually providing for their return, right, to the community. And I was struck also that our tradition also teaches that we should be a mamlechet kohanim, a kingdom of priests, and a goy kadosh, and a holy nation, right? And so I was playing with those two things and thinking about in our world where we don't have priest in the Jewish tradition, and playing on the idea that all of us play certain parts of the priestly role, right? What's it mean as we enter back into community to think about how we help people to come back in, right? How we enable folks to feel a part of something special and something holy. I was talking to our president, Laura Zuckerman, earlier today, and we were talking about how in many old congregations in Hebrew, the name is written Kuf Kuf. It's 2 Hebrew letters with a little chupchik above it, 2 little lines that look like quote marks, but are really the abbreviation mark in Hebrew. So it would say like Kuf Kuf Beit Yisrael. And Kuf Kuf is Kihila Kedosha, holy congregation, and then the name of the place. And so thinking about as we re-enter, both for ourselves in this world, as we enter community, and as we help others to come back, both in our temple community, but in all the ways that we function out in the world, in the many communities that each of us is a part of. How can we help each other so that when we enter, we bring a sense of wholeness to each other, as we each carry all of that challenge that we've had. It doesn't just end. All of this is still with us, and we move in, and how do we bring a sense of comfort to one another and create in the places that we are a sense of holiness and kehila, creating kehila kedosha, holy congregation. And of course, we have subgroups within the congregation here at TBI that also provide important holy community, and tonight the Brotherhood is helping to lead us in worship. And I know for how many it's an important touchstone, a place of comfort and support and of love and of fellowship in so many ways. I'd like to invite Dave Zeitlin up to share a few words about Brotherhood.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. So just a few words on why you might consider joining Brotherhood. In the Torah, there's a moment when the Jewish people ask God, "Where are you?" And God replies, "Ani, ani." That literally translates to "I am, I am." But it's thought by scholars that doesn't just mean "I'm here." It really means I'm fully present for you and with you. Meaning that God's not just here and observing, but that God is an active presence and is really involved in our world. In many parts of the Torah, it is stressed that to be Jewish, to live a Jewish life, requires more than just knowing the laws of Torah. To be Jewish means you must enact the laws, and only through the actions of carrying out mitzvot does one fully realize a Jewish life. One of my favorite lines in the Siddur, we just passed it in the Tefillah, is pray as if everything depends on God. Act as if everything depends on you. And this principle of being truly present and in our community and for our community, requiring us to take action to be a part of the community, is a foundation of Judaism. And joining TBI enables all of us to take actions towards the goal of living a meaningful Jewish life. Joining Brotherhood or any other number of organizations within TBI allows us to be more fully present and really participate in the TBI community. Not just to be a member, but also to act to further enrich our TBI community for ourselves and each other. In Brotherhood, I found a group of men who look for ways to enrich our community through various activities and by sharing information. Our Magic Night has changed over the last few years, and even through the pandemic, it's survived as something that's been enjoyed by many. Hopefully soon, just like tonight, there'll be more in-person events where we can really fully engage with each other and enrich our lives in meaningful ways again. The monthly Brotherhood meetings have had a series of really informative presentations over last year. We've been blessed with fellow TBI members and guest speakers who have just shared their wealth, knowledge, and experience that just brought a little bit more meaning to our community and our individual lives. One of the things that I enjoyed so much about Brotherhood, it started for me personally as something to do while my kids were at Beit Sefer on a Sunday morning, first Sunday of each month, but it became a more meaningful activity where I could find more involvement and more fulfillment in TBI. And it's just something that I feel is a benefit to myself personally, and I hope that our contributions as a brotherhood has been a benefit to everyone here and everyone who's still not here that would probably enjoy this event as much as I have. So, why join Brotherhood? It's just another example of how we can really take advantage of this wonderful community we're a part of to be more fulfilled and enrich ourselves and each other. So, Shabbat Shalom.
So Don Pollock, the Brotherhood president, had a brilliant idea that we would recreate for you an entire dance number from the Broadway musical, How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying. You may be familiar with it. It's kind of, well, it even precedes my generation, but I've been aware of it. Written by Abe Burrows wrote the book, Frank Lesser wrote the music, incredibly talented team. And I think we would be within reason to blame the pandemic and the restrictions why we don't have a number of brothers dancing up here on the Bima tonight. But let's be aspirational. May next year bring us dancing Brotherhood members, right? Are we all good with that? But in the meantime, with the help of our TBI trio, Reed Gratz, Ed Beardsley, myself, and special percussion from Chris and from Jeff, we'd like to present to you Brotherhood of Man from How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying. There is a brotherhood, a man, a benevolent brotherhood, a man, a noble tie that binds all of humankind into one brotherhood of man. Oh, brother membership is free, at least for the first year. Keep on giving each brother all you can. Oh, aren't you proud to be in that fraternity, the great big brotherhood of man? Finger snapping's encouraged. There is a brotherhood, a man, a benevolent brotherhood, a man, a noble tie that binds all human hearts and minds into one brotherhood of man. Your yearly membership for the first year is free. Oh, aren't you giving all you can? Oh, aren't you proud to be in that society, the great big brotherhood of man? The brotherhood of man. Thank you, boys.
We turn our thoughts at this time to all of those in our lives, in our community, in our world in need of healing and blessings. Blessings of body, of mind, of spirit. And we join in the words of Misha Berach. If you're at home, feel free to put the names of those you're thinking about in our chat. And those in the congregation will have a chance to share names as well. The Hebrew text of Misha Berach is found on page 253. 253.
blessed our mothers, who blessed our fathers from ancient days. Bless and heal those in our hearts, and hear our prayer as we say their names. Hakadosh Baruch Hu, Imalei Rachamim Aleichem, V'chachzikam U'rapeh otam, V'yishlach lahem Refuah shlema, Refuat hanefesh, Refuat haguf, Sha'ar cholei Yisrael. Oh, bless and heal those in our hearts, and hear our prayer as we say their names.
We ask for blessings upon Rebecca Gilman, Hannah Fields Austin, Sue Tobak, Rosin Lefkowitz, Helen Weinfeld, Pam Poliakoff, Connie Shapiro, Kathy Blumenfeld, Caitlin Antrim, Judith Bosworth, Kathy Brewster, Jennifer Rudin, Marion Snyders, Brad Holland, Beatrice Caden, Meg Silton, Serena Postal, Bobby Kay, Marilyn Freeman, Robert Strober, Marilyn Lubarski, Ellery Einstein, Patricia Kramer, Esther Brespris, Joan Morris, Nomi Kravitz, Craig Sachs, Simon Saul, Blair Pollock, Myra White, David Grossman, Lori Snyder, Jeremy Noller, Charity Razadeh, Mike Klein, Lily Morrison, Sarah Coachman, Richard Handley, Barbara Fass, Joel Beasy, Burton Gershman, Carol Berlant, Janet Barong, Paula Steinbach, David Bush, Howard Bush, Sandy Aaron, Dana Sundin, Lawson Spicer, Mark Fenton, Toyasha Spag, Harav Shmuel, Ben Esther, Gloria Foster, Judy Rose, and
Kadosh Baruch Yemaleh Rachamim Aleichem. Oh, bless and heal those in our hearts, and hear our prayer as we say their name.
So we have a new month. We actually have it's today is both the 1st of April and it is the Rosh Chodesh Nisan. It's the beginning of the month of Nisan on the Hebrew calendar, the month of Pesach. So it's a double new month as we move forward. But if you have a birthday in the month of April, I'm going to invite you to stand up and move into the aisle. There's got to be at least an April birthday or two in the place. Stan, it's Stan's birthday. No other April birthdays. Oh, Olivia's asleep. We'll get her a treat for after. Okay. All right. Let's sing happy birthday to Stan and Olivia, who's asleep. All right.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to Stan and everybody else who's got a birthday who isn't here. Happy birthday to you. Yom Huledet Sameach. Yom Huledet Sameach. Yom Huledet Sameach. Yom Huledet Sameach. Oh yeah.
So I'm wishing you, Stan, and you, Olivia, and any of you out there. Wait, don't leave yet, Stan. Keep looking at me. It's okay. Here I go. I know. It's all right. Yes. He wants to know if he gets his pencil. So yes, he does. But to everybody out there, I just want to offer you a blessing. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and keep you. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka. May God's presence shine into you and through you to others. May God be compassionate unto you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God and all that is good be present for you in your life, and may you find wholeness, peace, and shalom. And we say together, Amen.
Amen.
And now, don't go away because you got your pencil.
1, 2, 1, 2. Erev Sameach. Yom Huledet 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 Sameach. Oh yeah.
I'd like to invite Don Pollock back up to share some announcements.
So I'm here to give some thank yous and some announcements, but I've been thinking about this idea of a door v'dor, from generation to generation. And according to my calculations, and please don't correct me if I'm wrong, this should be the 90th anniversary of Temple Beth Israel, founded in 1932. And Jerry Feingold and I were there, and my memory's a little fuzzy.
We're in that same suit.
The pictures were all black and white those days, and you couldn't tell. But some of you know that for a number of years, I taught at the University of Laverne. And a few years into my tenure, they came and they said, could you make a video about 75 years of Laverne football? And I said, what are you paying? And I said, sure, we can do that. And when it came down, you always try and find a through line for the film that you're making, but we couldn't talk about the winning tradition of Laverne football because for most of that time, they were terrible. But one thing that was continuous was there a guy by the name of Roland Ortmeyer, who coached for 43 years at the University of Laverne. And so one of the great joys was to be able to sit down with Roland Ortmeyer and Dwight Hannawalt, who coached for quite a number of years, and just to reminisce and to go through and to learn about the university. And what ended up being the through line of the movie was I interviewed players from the 1920s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s, many of whom played for Roland Ortmeyer. And this experience really connected me to the university in a way that hadn't before. Flash forward a few years, I was a member of Temple Beth Israel for about 10 years, and they said, it's the 75th anniversary of Temple Beth Israel. We should do something to commemorate that. And so I was on that committee, and we talked about a book. I said, why don't we do a video about 75 years of Temple Beth Israel? And that's what we did. And so we interviewed a bunch of past presidents and old leather lungs, Herb Isaacson, the previous cantor, and rabbis who had served. And it really connected me to Temple Beth Israel in ways that it hadn't before. And the same with my experience with brotherhood, about being mentored and taught by previous presidents, and there's too many to name, but Simon Saul, and Jeff Pass, and Ira Quatcher, and Jerry Fenning, and Irv Tons, and Brian Bach, and meeting with these people and learning from them and being mentored is something that really connected me to the brotherhood and to Temple Beth Israel. And so, moving on, I wanted to thank the brothers who read tonight, Al Shapiro, Angelo Di Basilio, Isaac Kaufman, Chuck Fisher, Jeff Pass, Ira Quatcher, and David Zeitlin, and coming up, Harry Hoffman. And also wanted to thank other people who helped with tonight, our greeters, Jeff Pass, Don Block, Michael Litton, Don Block, our photographer, at check-in, Harriet Di Basilio, Beth Litton, and our parking lot greeters, Dan White and Phil Peleg. I especially want to thank the rabbi for all that he's done for me, not just leading me through tonight, but all the places he's led me through previous to this. And Paul, thank you for the music that you bring and also for indulging so many of my whims. And thank you so much to the Shul Band. It's so great to see you in full force, and I'm going to let Paul introduce you individually. We are going to have an oneg tonight, so eat your heart out, all you people out there in Cyber Shabbat land, provided by members of the Brotherhood and of the Chavara Chavarim. And just some upcoming events. It's a Brotherhood monthly meeting tomorrow, and to celebrate Sunday. This is Friday. Yes. Sunday, April 3rd, and the meeting will be actually at the California Botanic Garden, and that will be followed by a tour of the Botanic Garden. So those of you who are interested in joining the tour at 9:30 a.m., or brothers who want to come to the meeting at 9 a.m., please let me know. Erev Pesach, there will be a brief online service at 5 o'clock, and there's still room for the second night of Passover at the synagogue, so please, you can sign up for that. And of course, the temple later in April and May is planning a big Israeli independence celebration, so you can see the events in the Kehillah and also look for your weekly e-blast. Have I left anybody out?
We'll fill it in, don't worry.
And Shabbat Shalom.
The next 2 Wednesdays, starting this Wednesday, there's a Passover class being offered by Cantor Paul and me, different times. He's teaching this week, I'm teaching the following week, but I hope that people will participate. It's a good way to prepare our minds and our spirits to get ready for Pesach, which is in 15 days. So, or 14 days, I guess. I don't know how I
It's
count.
2 weeks from tonight.
2 weeks from tonight. So it's a wonderful opportunity to join us for that. I'm going to see if Cantor Paul has any other announcements he'd like to add. He says no.
I mean, the only thing we'll add that our classes for Pesach are in person and virtual, so you can join us here in the social hall probably for an in-person class, and we will also using technology to put those on the Adult Jewish Learning Zoom link, which hopefully many, if not all of you, are familiar with from the last 2 years of wonderful classes that we've offered. And I have a special, two special virtual guests, one of whom is my friend Julie Jufrida, who some of you may remember from our Latka Fest in 2009. She's a food writer and a cook, and is currently runs the test kitchen at the Los Angeles Times. So she's going to talk about diverse food traditions. We're doing our best to bring the many cultures and ways to do Jewish to our community, and Passover foods is certainly one of them. So that's it. Thank you.
As we mentioned, today is actually Rosh Chodesh Nisan. It is the new month. So if you turn to page 261, our God and God of our ancestors, may the new month bring us goodness and blessing. May we have long life, peace, prosperity, a life exalted by love of Torah and reverence for the divine, a life in which the longings of our hearts are fulfilled for good.
Rosh Chodesh Nisan hu hayom. Rosh Chodesh Nisan hu hayom. Rosh Chodesh Nisan hu hayom.
The new month of Nisan begins today. And we can also wish our Muslim neighbors and friends a Ramadan Mubarak. We're early in Ramadan at this time. So let's invite up Harry Hoffman to share a reading.
Shabbat Shalom. May we gain wisdom in our lives, overflowing like a river with understanding. Loved, each of us for peace we bring to others. May our deeds exceed our speech, and may we never lift up our hand but to conquer fear and doubt and despair. Rise up like the sun, O God, over all humanity. Cause light to go forth over all the lands between the seas, and light up the universe with joy. Wholeness of freedom and peace. Amen.
Amen.
Page 282, Aleinu L'Shabeach, middle of the page. If you're able, please rise.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'Adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. 287. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
Page 294. We take a few moments to remember. On this Shabbat, as we remember those, as we do each week, who have died in recent days and for whom we observe a yortzeit. And in addition to a yortzeit this evening, we dedicate a plaque in memory of Diana Kaufman, and her family's here with us as well. And Diana died a year ago on the Hebrew calendar, and was a really important part of our community and our congregation. A woman of great accomplishment and great intellect, and left behind, died far too young, left behind her 4 kids and her husband and her family of origin, her siblings and parents and father. And so we remember her especially this evening as we connect her life and her memory in perpetuity to this place, to Temple Beth Israel. She was somebody who came to Jewish tradition in her life, and we were so blessed that she enriched us and our community in so many ways. And she is deeply, deeply missed. We also remember the recent deaths of Alan Silks, uncle of Dina Benjamin, Norman Scharf, cousin of Adele Harris. In addition to Diana, we remember the yortzeits of Elsie Gershman, Roger Hartstone, Cecile Hopkinson, Ronald Kane, Esther Roth, David Siegel, Isidore Weiss, Yonatan Begin, Harry Brock, Gerald Geffen, Nancy Cast Gordeau, Morris Grossman, Stella Isaacson, John Martinez Sr., Ethel Muir, Henry Leo Mullen, Nancy Newbergorge, Harry Pritikin, Johnny Roth, Pearl Zeidel, Jeanette Aberman, Barbara Deutsch, Mark Dumholsky, Ruth Esposito, Edith Gass, Jean Lambden, Abe Lasky, Theodore Rich, Ted Snitzer, Peter Vidoff, Edith Clayman, Ernestine Lowe, Sylvia Steinloff, David Wilinski, Bernard Glickstein, Rabbi Earl Kaplan, David Meyer Lieberman, Libby Lieberman, Stephen Reiner, Samuel Rotman, Elise Santamoro, Louis Trackman, Lena Vidoff, Louis Friedman, Mary Groban, Russell Hamlin Sr., Larry Levinson, Mordechai Levy, Betty Lou Nelson, Abraham Nenatov, Clara Schifris, Roy Seidler, William Strussman, Faye Toker, Gertrude M. Guevara, May Kagan, Edward Katzman, and Nathan Stephen. If you're remembering somebody on this Shabbat, would like to add their name to those that I've mentioned, please feel free to do so as I come by your row. If you're at home, please feel free to mention a name in the chat. We also remember those who've been killed in the violence in Ukraine and other places around the world. The 11 Israelis killed in the last 10 days by acts of terror. And we join in the words of Kaddish. I invite those of you who are in a time of mourning or have observing a yortzeit on the Shabbat to please rise. And I invite the rest of the congregation, if it's your custom, to rise and embrace in support of those who mourn. Again, 294. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei rabbah.
Amen.
Bi'alma divrach yiruteh v'yamlich malchuteh. V'chayachon v'yomechon v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael. V'agala u'bizman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevorach le'olam olomei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dukudasha brichu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata ta'amiram bi'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shmaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Zichronam livracha, may their memories always be for a blessing. And we're going to close on page 321 with Biyado.
Before we conclude, I just want to take a brief moment to thank the Shul Band and also to thank Claudia Gonzalez, our technologically tech guru. I was going to say technologically enhanced wizard, but Rabbi's phrasing is much simpler. So Chris Gacci on percussion, welcome back Chris. Al Shapiro on sax, Ed Beardsley on bass, Reed Gratz on keyboards, Menachem Mirsky on guitar and vocals, and Jeff Klein. And we want to welcome Francisco Moad, who's his first time here with us on violin. And we also want to send out a special Misha Beirach to Dana Sundin, our flautist, who was injured a couple of weeks ago and is recovering from that. We wish her a speedy recovery, and she claims that she'll be ready to rock with us for May Day, or the Shabbat closest to May Day. Oops, wrong key. Be'ado av kidruchi Ve'hei shan ve'ahiram Ve'imruchi geviati Adonai li velo hiram Ve'imruchi geviati Adonai li velo hiram. My soul I give to you, my spirit in your care. Draw me near, I shall not fear. Hold me in your hand. Draw me near, I shall not fear. Safely in your hand.
My soul I give to you, my spirit in your care. Draw me near, I shall not fear. Hold me in your hand. Draw me near, I shall not fear. Safely in your hand. Beyado afiduvi, Beit Ishan ve'aira, ve'imruchi geviati, Adonai li velo ira, ve'imruchi geviati,
Save
For those of you who have joined us online, thank you for being with us, and Shabbat Shalom. Those of you in the sanctuary, please join us in the social hall for Kiddush, Motzi, and refreshments. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.